What's up, guys? Still trying to get over my sickness. It's driving me crazy. One of these days I'll get over it. Do I go around and get hit? Okay. I kind of wanted to talk about why you should get a smaller bike when you're just starting out as opposed to something bigger. And I know there's going to be a lot of comments telling me, well, I started out on a liter bike, you know, I'm doing just fine, look at me. Well, great, you know, good for you, have a cookie. But for the majority of people, and even for you, you would probably learn faster and be a much better rider if you started out on something smaller. Like, I know the liter bike is really appealing, and I really wanted one as my first bike. Oh my gosh, this road. I really wanted a liter bike as my first bike. You know, I didn't want to start out on something small, spend money, buy something smaller, and then have to either sell it or try and buy another bike. I didn't want that. I wanted a liter bike because I'm an American. That's what Americans want. We want the biggest, best, fastest, whatever we can possibly get. Oh, that looks gravelly. That is gravelly. Whoa, scary. But I finally got convinced and convinced myself to start out on something smaller. I started out on a 250, and I am really glad that I did. You know, I've got really good self-control and that type of thing, so I could have been fine, you know, with the bike and the throttle. It would have been really tempting, but I could have held back on it. But it's not just if you can. Oh, it's not if you can. You know, there's instances you just can't control, and where you've got a liter bike, you could be going down the road, and depending on what your RPM is and what your speed is, you know, you could have that self-control, but you could sneeze and you could hit the throttle just a bit and end up pulling up in a wheelie. Whereas you do that in a 250, you know, you can full throttle a 250 at 10,000 revs and be just fine. It's not gonna flip over on itself, whereas this bike would. And as opposed, when I started on the 250, I believe it made me a better rider too. Because that's the thing, you're always gonna be afraid, and you should be afraid of what you're on. You know, that's what keeps you aware and paying attention of what's going on around you. Starting out on that 250, I didn't have that fear of that extra power, and if I did screw up, it's not going to throw me off of it. I mean, yeah, you can still crash and have some pretty bad accidents on a smaller bike, but your chances of it being user error by too much gas, you let the clutch out too fast, it's been slimmed down quite a bit because there's just not the power there. That's also another part of the fun. Oh, that's a pothole. Part of the fun in starting out in a lower bike or a smaller bike. There's a random spot for a stop sign, that's all I can say. Part of the fun in starting out on a smaller bike is working your way up. Start out on something smaller, you master that bike, you know, you ride the heck out of it, you master it, you move up to the next size, and you master that bike and you move up. And in doing so, when you're moving up and mastering your bikes, it makes you a better rider. I believe you learn faster, but you just don't got that fear of I'm on something that will kill me if I sneeze type of bike. If I was to start out say on this bike, I had no previous riding experience. You know, I've rode around like little pocket bikes and stuff when I was little 50cc things, but you know, no clutches, no gearing. It was just a turn the throttle and you go type of bike. And you learn better. I know I keep saying that, but you do. A 250, for one, it's a lot lighter. It's easier to handle. There's not so much weight. They're easier to turn. They flick around a lot better. You can learn how a motorcycle acts before you get on something like this. So I recommend everyone start on something smaller. And it doesn't have to be a 250. That's just my personal opinion of a great starting bike, good all-around bike. I mean, it's good fuel economy. You can have a lot of fun on that bike. I still got my 250. And there's some other ones that are great starting bikes, even a Supermoto. A Supermoto would be an awesome starting bike. You get a leader bike like this, and if you're just using it for cruising around, a leader bike is just so useless. I can't run this bike to its maximum. There's no way. You know, stock gearing on this bike will do 105 in first gear. I don't got stock gearing, but I can still hit about 80 miles an hour, 85 miles an hour in first gear, which is speeding no matter where I go. I can't redline this. 250, you can have so much fun just redlining every gear, and you'll still get 60 to 65 miles to the gallon doing so. I have to choose which way to go. I want to go straight. People always say, oh, don't get a 250, you know, you'll get bored of the power. You'll only get bored of the power if that's all you're riding it for. If you want to go fast in a straight line, accelerate really fast, yeah, you're going to get bored of the power extremely quick, for sure. Which I believe you could do on any bike. Even if you had a Hayabusa, I'm sure that's all you wanted to do, go fast in a straight line. You could get bored of the power. Everyone wants more. But that's not where the fun is to me. Going fast in a straight line, yeah, it gives you a little bit of a rush. Going to 60 in 2.5 seconds, or taking a corner, you know, pretty sharp corner at 60, yeah, you let me know what gives you more of an adrenaline rush. I can tell you it's that corner. Cornering is where it's at, and that's where the 250 just shines. So if you're getting bored of the power on a 250, you're riding it for completely the wrong reason. You might as well just get you a Hayabusa drag bike and go to the drag strip every weekend. You can start out on whatever you want. I really don't care. You know, if you want to start out on a leader bike, start out on a leader bike. Go for it. You know, let me know if you did. That's awesome. I still believe you'd be a better rider if you started out on something small. Maybe you wouldn't. Maybe you just awesome. And I'm a really slow learner, which is highly possible. So I hope I inspired some of you to at least get a 250. If you liked the video, click like. If you didn't, that's okay. I got a view from you. That's really all that matters to me. Just knowing that people watch my stuff, and I'm not the only one. Peace off, guys.